Hi everyone, I'm Shauna Randolph, Edmonton Humane Society spokesperson, and welcome to our September 2013 Edmonton Humane Society podcast. And we're bringing you the show from our beautiful shelter located in Northwest Edmonton. Coming up in this half hour, teaming up with the Edmonton Eskimos, how our football club is going out of their way to help promote adopting from us. This involves some pretty cool creativity. We'll tell you all about it. Also coming up, how generous donations to our sick and injured animal fund have helped us purchase a much needed new diagnostic tool, and this is reducing the need for some surgeries. We'll explain. But first, our hot topic of the month, a capacity crisis. At the beginning of August, we had to shut our admitting doors to anyone wanting to bring us any kind of animal, and it was the first time we did this in our 106-year history. We basically did not have the capacity to care for any more animals properly. It was a very tough decision, but necessary, so that we can remain committed to never ending one life to make room for another. I recently sat down with our CEO, Stephanie McDonald, about this tough decision, the results, and the overwhelming public response. Stephanie, unprecedented. Hadn't done this in 106 years. Why did we do it?
For the animals, Shauna, it's always about the animals and what is the best optimum care that we can provide in the shelter environment.
Because many people are always asking, well, how many can you house? How many kennels? And it isn't just the kennel space.
It's not, and you know, it is a complicated system in terms of how we provide care within our shelter environment. So there's pieces where the animals need to go for surgery, so that can make them stay in the back of the shelter for a couple weeks at a time, and then sometimes we have behavior modifications. So animals can actually hold in the back, and it's not really optically transparent to the general public, so they kind of see 200 animals up for adoption, but that really is not the whole story. The whole story is in the entire shelter, and for us, we really didn't have any room, and I can tell you that morning was really challenging for us to make that decision. Now, that being said, we never really shut our doors to any of the stray animals, so there's no animals ever put at risk that don't have humans that can look after them, and that was important to us as well. So we really put the pressure on the owners, and the owner surrenders, and the great thing about it is that the response was so favorable.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Did you have any idea, first of all, how much media coverage would happen?
Well, it was challenging because, of course, you were on vacation, Shauna, and so for us, we didn't really know how to do the reach out, and we never really expected it to generate so much activity. I believe we had 7-8 days. In fact, actually, there's still some people talking about how we handled the crisis and how we reached out, and sometimes in Edmonton, or really anywhere, all you have to do is ask, and people respond.
We had adoptions in droves, and people really seemed to understand when we said, please just give us your name and number, and we'll call you back if you want to admit an animal. So overall, it was really good on both fronts.
Well, that was part of our crisis plan, because you can't just say, well, no, you can't come, and not offer people options and solutions. So we did take people's names, and a lot of people were willing to wait. It was fine for them. 232 animals went home in a very short period of time, 4 days, which is unprecedented as well, even with our cat events. We generated 40 foster homes, which we are currently trying to process and get them ready to go, so that when we hit puppy season, which is in the late fall, we'll be ready to go and have places for those animals as well.
So let's talk about prevention. I mean, we don't know if it's going to happen again. It just depends on whatever's happening in the community. And we may sound like broken records, but the bottom line is that spay and neuter message.
It is spay and neuter. It has to be, because there's a population crisis, and sometimes it's frustrating for us here at the shelter when we see the faces all the time, and we talk about it in the media, and yet people just don't get it and understand it. But we also understand because it's not in their face. They don't see that. So for us, we want to keep conveying to people that there is a pet population crisis problem, and that really don't think twice before you decide, you want to have that one litter for your pet, and think twice about not spaying and neutering the young kittens, because kittens can have kittens, and a lot of people don't realize that a 5-month-old or a 4-month-old kitten can actually have kittens now, and that's very sad to watch a kitten raise a kitten.
And people don't realize that we can't take on the problem. We're here to help the community, but people can't depend on us to fix it.
This is a community solution-based problem, and we're going to help, and we can certainly steer the ship, and we can offer some solutions. But at the end of the day, there's no way, with 1 million people that we service the area, of the public that we service, for us to be able to take on all the responsibilities of pet ownership in our community. It's not reasonable. Our mission is, again, about stray animal management and the animals that are homeless and abused. So we really will focus on that and continue to support owner surrenders, but that is not our primary objective.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So again, one of our pleas from that difficult time was to try to convince more people to sign up as fosters. It's really difficult but rewarding. You do open up your hearts and your homes to homeless animals, and it does come with a huge commitment. Here's a chat I recently had with our volunteer coordinator, Jessica Kennedy, so that hopefully some of you may want to sign up as well. Jessica, we're always in need of foster parents, aren't we?
Most definitely. We can never have enough foster parents in our volunteers database. We'd love to have more.
And tell me, though, the kind of person, because this is really demanding.
Foster parents is one of our most demanding volunteer responsibilities, but it also is the most rewarding. You are actually saving lives by taking an animal into your home and creating a bond and socializing with this animal. It's very tangible, but it also can be very emotionally taxing too.
Yeah, like give us an idea of some of the things that people may cope with.
One of the hardest things is when you have to bring the animal back for it to be placed up for the adoption floor. That's a very emotional, hard time. You've connected with this animal from a few weeks to sometimes just under a few months. And at that time, you have to let it go to its forever home, and that can be a big challenge.
Yeah, because you yourself really want it to go to the perfect home in your mind, and you want to know where they go, and you as a volunteer may not even know who adopted.
Yes, and that's where we ask you just to trust us that we are going to find the best home for this animal, and it will find its forever home, which is what we all want in the end.
And then another thing, the reality is that an animal, for whatever reason, may not make it. It may be too small. Let's say a kitten that may not thrive for whatever reason and die in their care. And that's really, really hard for people.
It is. It is a reality when you're taking on fostering to know those risks. It does unfortunately happen where you can lose an animal. But what you need to remember and to comfort yourself is that it died in your home and you were able to provide it with that love and the care right up until the end of its life.
Yeah, so you know you're making a difference. And the people who've been fostering for a long time, they're aware of it, and they just continue on. There's people who've been fostering for so long with us.
There are, and everyone has different. Sometimes people will foster and then they need to take a break because, again, they have that emotional attachment, and then they will start fostering again, and some people can just go through. And so this program is really great because it's up to you and to what you can take and what your capacity is emotionally, whether you need a break or not.
And the process, it's not simple, right?
No.
Let's go over that.
Yeah, so if you are interested, the first step is to access our website, and from there you can learn more about the fostering program, and you could submit an application form online. Once you do that, we're going to invite you to attend an orientation session. You'll learn more about the program, the benefits, the risks, and we're going to teach you everything you need to know to be a successful foster parent. If you want to proceed after that, we do a home visit. So that's where we come into your home and make sure that you're set up for success. After that, you wait for your foster, and then you start getting ready with your kittens or your puppies or whoever you choose.
And we do have a foster coordinator that's a liaison, so if you have any problems, she's able to help. And as well, we give all the supplies, or most of it. Anyway.
Yeah, we sure do. We send you home with everything you'll need, whether that's food, shelter, and how to socialize, as well as we do provide medical care for your fosters.
So definitely something to consider for people.
Definitely. We'd love to have you.
Thank you. Stay with us. Coming up right after this break, checking in with 3 Edmonton Eskimos who recently paid our shelter a visit. Find out who and why right after this.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Our animal protection officers depend on the public to be their eyes and ears to let them know if there are any animals that may be in distress. And it's very difficult for people to come forward sometimes because they don't want to be a bad neighbor. But it's so important to know you are potentially saving an animal's life. That's why our animal protection department has recently launched a new program called Watchdog, encouraging people to come forward. And why? Here's a chat I had with the head of that department so that you can be filled in. Officer Taylor, a long time in the making that this program's launched.
Yeah, we're really excited to see that this program's finally launched. It's been something that we've been hoping to see for a long time now.
So how does it work?
Well, the Watchdog program is kind of like a neighborhood watch or community watch program where we're hoping to educate the public on when to make a complaint to our organization, how to make a complaint, and also to let their community know that they are watching their neighborhood and that they're a good advocate for animals in their community.
So there's some specific products people would need to get a hold of in order to take part. Let's talk about those.
Absolutely. We've got a couple of different products we've just launched. Hopefully we're going to be expanding that a little bit in the future. Right now we do have a magnet that you can have on your fridge. We have that available in our bingo store in the Humane Society here. And that's got the number on there for you to call if you need to make a complaint. And then we also have window clings, and these we're really hoping to see in the community in windows like your screen doors or in your front window to let people know that you're a community watch for this Watchdog program.
So then if someone sees that in a window and they want to know more, then they can feel comfortable to approach that person, ask some questions, and then that person would direct that neighbor that may have a concern about an animal to give you a call.
Absolutely, yeah, that would be ideal if people are comfortable providing that information to their community. It also comes with a little bit of information in each pack as well about what to look for in the neighborhood, when to make a complaint with us as well, because we don't want to see people being afraid to give us a call if they think that there's a concern in their neighborhood.
So then what would maybe some of the warning signs be? What would make someone say, you know what, I think I need to call someone about this animal I'm concerned about?
You know, there's a lot of different warning signs, and really we trust the community to know what's right. If they have a concern that there is an animal that's not being properly cared for, the best thing to do is just to give us a call and discuss the situation first, rather than, you know, maybe withholding that information. Call us, discuss it. We'll see if there's something that we can investigate or who might be able to get involved in that situation.
Let's talk about one case. There's so many, but one case in particular a couple years ago that maybe that animal would have been in a better off position in the end if someone may have called.
Yeah, absolutely. It was actually a heartbreaking case. It was one of those ones that really stays with you. It was a 17-year-old dog by the name of Buddy, a nice lab cross, probably crossed with a greyhound, that came into our facility actually as a request for admitting. And when the dog came in, the dog wasn't even able to stand, was completely starved. No body weight on the animal at all, very, very skinny, not even able to lift its head. And it was a situation where this dog had actually been out in the community, had been out for a while, being able to be seen by neighbors and also by the veterinary community. And unfortunately, no one did give us a call to let us know that the dog had declined so substantially. And it was one of those cases where we think if we'd gotten involved a little sooner, we could have helped the owner as well provide some appropriate options for the animal.
In the end, there was a conviction.
Absolutely. That one was one that we actually did take to court and was convicted.
I guess the bottom line is we depend on the public to be our eyes and our ears because we can't be everywhere.
Absolutely. The public and the professionals in our community as well. We work with a lot of different organizations. We work with a lot of veterinarians in the community as well, and sometimes they're the first responders to seeing these types of situations. So anyone is welcome to give us a call. Even if you just give us a call with a atypical scenario that you're dealing with and you want advice on how to proceed, you don't have to give us the details. We're certainly willing to talk you through the situation and see what we can do.
And even purchasing a fridge magnet or vehicle magnet and window cling, the proceeds help you.
Oh, they really do. We've started doing some more fundraising for the Animal Protection Department specifically, and all of the funds do come directly to the Humane Society and to the Animal Protection Division.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Shauna.
And now, as part of our monthly success story section, I have one of our staff members here at the Edmonton Humane Society, a behavior specialist, Dana Bjornrud, and Lola. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, no problem.
First of all, what kind of dog is Lola, or do you think? Because we've talked that she's kind of a mix of things.
Yeah, we think she's Chihuahua wiener dog. She's got small head, long body, short legs. So
what do you call her? What kind?
Chiweenie.
Chiweenie. When she was telling me about that, I thought we'd share that. Dana, take me back to about 3 years ago when you saw her at the Humane Society, why you adopted her, that sort of thing.
Well, I'd lost my dog in a house fire 2 years prior. I had been watching for a dog. I wasn't allowed to have dogs where I was living, which is a huge problem all the time. But I was watching the website, saw her pop up one night. She was still there the following morning. So I came down 45 minutes early. Actually, there was a lineup. I heard people behind me talking about her. So I came straight to the desk. I'd never been in the facility before, so I just went straight to the desk and said, I need this dog, where's this dog? So they led me to her room, gave me her portfolio. They told me she was under the bed and she was not likely going to come out right away, so just go slow, let her come to you, all the fearful dog stuff. And I sat down cross-legged on the floor and she just immediately beelined out from under the bed into my lap, and there was no going back from there. She was mine.
So she chose you.
Oh yeah.
And here you were hearing that she was going to be very timid, to go slow. But she was pretty timid at the very beginning, wasn't she, overall?
Oh, she was overall terrified of people. Definitely worse with men than women. Over time, she's become so much better. Just lots of positive associations with people. So coming up to a stranger, get the stranger to give her a treat, and make sure that people aren't overbearing. If you have someone like jump on your fearful dog, it sets them back more than anything. But
you had to work with her a lot.
Oh, tons. We would go to dog parks, bring her here. Anywhere that I was allowed to have a dog with me, I'd bring her just to meet people.
And there are so many dogs that are in a situation where they are fearful. People don't quite know what to do. And this is the kind of thing, a very good example, to just keep working with them, keep exposing them to different environments and different situations.
Oh, exactly. Dogs like this are usually missing out on socialization at some point early in their lives. It is harder to fix later on, so when you have a puppy, socialize constantly and you won't get this. But once you do adopt a fearful dog, it's tons of positive associations, make everything fun, make everything awesome, and your dog will be the most loyal companion ever.
And she is one of the most sociable staff member dogs that are around the shelter regularly.
Yeah, now I bring her around the office with me and I don't have to have her on leash. She sticks right by my side. She'll go up and visit people and tail wagging, very happy.
And she's very calm with you.
Yeah, she's a little scared right now. I don't think she's used to the camera and the bright lights,
Right.
but...
So not only did you get reunited, or not reunited, but you brought her into your family, but you are also now a staff member here.
Yeah, I was not staff when I adopted her, clearly, but she got me on the path to behavior. I wanted to understand how to help her better, so I started reading books, I started doing my research and everything, and it ended up me working here as a behavior specialist.
There, and you haven't looked back.
No, I love it.
So overall, just a message to people about adopting from the Edmonton Humane Society.
Small dogs, I know a lot of people come in looking for small dogs, and they go quick. Once they hit the floor, there's usually a lineup for them. But just watch the website, and as soon as you see that one, come 45 minutes early, wait in line at the door, and hopefully you get your Lola.
And then your Lola will choose you like she did with Dana. Thank you so much, Dana.
No problem.
And Lola. And now, teaming up with the Edmonton Eskimos. Not too long ago, the president of the Eskies contacted our CEO saying that they wanted to help our organization. It was fantastic. So our first project involved some public service announcements that were produced right here in our shelter over the summer, basically encouraging people to adopt from the Edmonton Humane Society. And these commercials will soon be shown right here in our podcast and maybe some other TV stations and our social media sites. You'll see them. And right now, let's take a look at a conversation I had with the 3 Eskimos that starred in these public service announcements, and we're here. Nick, let's start with why. Why the Edmonton Humane Society?
We believe it's a great place. A lot of rescue animals here, and we believe every animal deserves a good home. I know our players are very big pet lovers, so that's why we brought these guys out here today to be involved with this great initiative.
Yeah, so it's public service announcements. We shot a few of them, and the first time that any of you have been to our new shelter, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts, first of all, about the shelter, even though most of it was outside? But
I think it's a great facility. I mean, it's wonderful. My first time coming here, I'm going to bring my daughter back and let her come see the animals also.
Good, and adopt.
I've got 2 big dogs back home, so not much room right now, but we'll see.
Good. And what about you two? Although you didn't see a lot of animals.
I think it's important that the city realizes that they did move, right? Like when we talked when I first got it, I thought it was over on the Yellowhead still, and so it's changed locations. It's a huge facility, and they got a great staff working here, and it's really good.
Yeah. Corey.
I did get a chance to walk through the inside and just saw the excitement of kids and parents and people just running around and just excited about adopting and rescuing animals.
And then, of course, your big part of this is the public service announcements. We're doing a few of them that people will see, really to encourage people to adopt from the Edmonton Humane Society, that we have great pets, and also to spay and neuter. So you're part of that. What are your thoughts on that?
Feels good to be a part of that. Like, obviously, it's something that needs to be spread throughout the community, and playing for the Eskimos and us supporting the Humane Society it means a lot as players.
So any message for anybody watching? You've been here, you've lived it, about adopting.
Come down here, check it out. Got some great pets here. We met 4 or 5 wonderful dogs, a few cats. Come down here, check it out, and get yourself a pet.
I think you might influence a few people. Thank you, Cor.
Thank you.
problem.
Thanks a lot.
So you'll see them on all of our social media channels, and of course we'll play them right here in our podcast show, probably starting in October. Stay with us. Coming up right after this short break, we will take a look at their Bingo's Pet Shop, the latest new items that have come in, and also we'll take a look at a new diagnostic tool in our medical department that's really helping with a lot of our surgeries. Stay with us.
So I got this new family. And I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Welcome back. Thanks to generous donations to our Sick and Injured Animal Fund, our medical department recently purchased a $6,000 ultrasound machine. And this is very useful because it's preventing a lot of exploratory surgeries when it comes to diagnosing some issues with animals. Here's a chat I recently had with one of our shelter veterinarians about how this is making a huge difference. Dr. Bucklin, this is a machine that's really making a difference here, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
What sort of things are we noticing with it?
Well, we are able to diagnose some patients that have conditions with their bladders without having to go in for surgery, and that way we are able to avoid some unnecessary surgeries. We are also able to look at the liver and the kidneys and the spleen as well, and make sure that they don't have any masses or anything if we suspect something like that's going on with them. It's less invasive means of diagnosing some procedures. The animals don't seem to mind it at all. They don't need anesthesia, they don't need any sedatives. It's completely safe and it's completely painless. So
yeah, it's really helping with diagnosis and even with pregnancies too.
Absolutely, we're able to determine if an animal is pregnant and how far along they are to be able to do our surgeries before they give birth in the shelter.
Yeah, and it's really doing something that the X-ray machine wasn't able to do. It takes you a step further in that, doesn't it?
Yep, it just gives us ways to look at the internal organs a little bit better, especially if it is not as easy to see on an X-ray. It's easier to see on ultrasound.
There's one dog, Sammy, who's since been adopted out. Tell me a little bit about his story.
So Sammy came in with difficulties urinating, and one of the first things we assume when an animal has difficulty urinating is something like bladder stones. And if that was the case, we would have had to go to surgery with Sammy, but we were able to take a look at him and determine that he did not have bladder stones at all. And Sammy was able to be treated, put on medications, and went home and never needed surgery, and still won't.
That's so good. Yeah, and it must really feel good too now to be able to do this because of the donors helping us, really, essentially.
Yeah, it's absolutely excellent.
And it is the Sick and Injured Animal Fund that has helped us. And are we planning to have other ones? Do we need another one, or one is pretty sufficient for us?
I think at this point, one is sufficient. However, this machine is able to do different functions with different probes. At this time, we only have one probe for it. So a different probe with a different frequency would allow us to see more detail and see deeper into larger animals. And with that, we would be able to do some more evaluation on some things like the heart, blood vessels, see if there's clotting problems, anything like that. Right now, we have limited ability to see the liver and spleen, kidneys and bladder. That's pretty much what we're limited to. If we had another probe or something, we could expand the use of it very much.
So more donations to the Sick and Injured Animal Fund would definitely make a difference further for us.
Yes, it would.
Well, thanks for filling us in on this.
You're welcome.
Donations to our Sick and Injured Animal Fund are always greatly appreciated. You can donate online at edmontonhumanesociety.com or by calling the Fund Development Department directly at 780-491-3507. Time now to check in with our shelter store, Bingo's Pet Shop, located right here in the shelter at the Edmonton Humane Society. Now let's find out what new cool pet-related items are available this month. Nadine, heading into the fall, what do we have for our new items?
Well, I did find some beautiful coffee mugs. I know it'll be great for coming this fall. Cold weather, warm cup of coffee. They actually even are good for cold beverages. It'll keep whatever beverage you have in there at the right temperature for quite a long time. They are quite unique because you just unscrew the top there. This you'd hang on to because it keeps it waterproof, or leak proof, sorry. And then you just squish that and you can drink from any angle.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
Good spill-proof kind of thing.
Exactly.
And it has our logo on it and our saying, completing families one life at a time.
Yeah.
And the paw prints. Very, very classy.
Excellent.
Really, really good for animal
very happy
lovers.
with them.
And then with that, we have some new logoed hats as well, in a black and a white. Tell me about these.
Well, I've been asked numerous times to bring in hats, but I had a problem trying to find something that was cool yet had our logo on it. So I finally found a nice mix of the two. So.
Yeah, they're very nice. And I love the paw prints on that too. I mean, animal lovers, we're all over paw prints.
Absolutely.
I see something here, moose antler. Tell me about this.
They are new to the market. Elk antlers hit a couple years ago. Well, now it's moose. Moose is very unique. It's an odd protein, so your dog should not have any allergies or tummy issues with the strange protein of moose, and they last a long time.
So obviously good for chewing. That's what we're
Absolutely.
talking about here.
Long-lasting chew, no splintering. Won't have any issues that way either.
And all natural, naturally.
Absolutely.
And no odor, no mess. Will not stain, it says.
Yeah.
So very, very good alternative to chewing your shoes.
Exactly.
Or whatever to keep those chewers
and
happy.
No smell from them. They're awesome.
Okay, wonderful. Big basket here. Tell me about this.
Well, we've had these for a long time, and I had them stored away, and I think it's time to finally say good riddance to them. They are cat toys, a nice little bundle of cat toys, $5 for the bag.
And it's sort of like a grab bag, although you can actually see what's through them.
Okay, absolutely.
And much cheaper than if you were to go to a regular store and buy cat toys.
Yep,
so.
and they're cheaper than buying them singly, absolutely.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So really good out there. Get the cat toys here.
Absolutely.
Because all proceeds from the sales go where?
Absolutely, back into the shelter to help our animals.
And that's a common thing that you get asked a lot, isn't it?
All the time.
People think that you run bingos here.
Yeah.
Not the case. So you're helping us, you're helping the animals, you're helping yourself with the great items.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Nadine.
Thanks, Shauna.
And we're already at the end of our September 2013 Edmonton Humane Society podcast. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Before you go, though, we want to remind you to please think of our shelter animals and donate however you can. Being a nonprofit charitable organization, we greatly depend on donor support to care for about 13,000 homeless animals each year. Please just visit our website for how you can donate, and thank you to everyone who does support us. Thank you to Catch Can for sponsoring the show. That company is committed to sustainable development by protecting and preserving the land and water. Thanks to Evan Adnams for his technical directing time and labor to bring this show to you, and for Shaw Television for airing our show on their station at no cost. This is the only news magazine show produced by and for an animal shelter, and we are so thrilled to bring it to you every month. See you next time, and keep up to date on us through our social media channels, and you will be very much entertained and engaged with that. Join us again next month.